morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the day of the video diary. How's it going today? Today we are on campus. It's a Thursday. Thursdays are a long day today. I left the house at 7 this morning. I probably won't get back until 7 because I've got a lab at 6 o'clock that finishes at 7. Ugh. To be honest with you, I have it most weeks, but I've been slacking on problem sheets. So I haven't really been going. But this week they are doing they're going over a past paper revision, so I'll hang about for that one. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, what's been going on? Got up this morning on time. To be honest with you, I closed my eyes last night and then the alarm went off immediately. So I must have slept well. I don't even remember sleeping, so there's that. Got up, got ready, got Graham out for a bit, and then headed off onto campus. It's now 7:45. First lecture's at 9 o'clock. We were going to have some group meetings today to organise some entrepreneurship stuff, which was kind of a pain for me because I need to get as much of my dissertation done as possible before like midday so I can email it to my supervisor as like a first draft thing. So I want the requirements section nailed. I think that's going to be pretty easily done, to be fair. We were going to have a group meeting from like 10 till 1, but then they had a chat on group chat at like 1 o'clock in the morning, long past my bedtime. Basically came to the conclusion that that people are indifferent about having this meeting, which is crazy. There's a vote leave sign there. Vote leave, take control. Really? Are we going to allow that to be there still? I thought the university and students were pro-stay. Anyway, so we're talking about things. Yeah, so like while I benefit from not having this meeting, I think the group as a whole doesn't benefit, but that's life. There's just a load of people here just like cycling. Wonder what they're up to. Apparently they're biking the UK for MS. So there you go. Right, okay, we are going to go to the library and do a bit more work. Actually not. Because predominantly because I've forgotten, can't remember if I've locked the car or not. And also because by the time I've walked there and walked back, I'll be able to go and sit in the lecture theatre that my next lecture's in, so I'll do that instead. Also get this Amazon return off of my chest. We're supposed to be having quite warm weather today, although it's supposed to rain about when I'm leaving campus. So therefore I've decided not to bother bringing a coat. I'll figure out if we rue that decision. But Thursdays, because I have a lecture at 9, and then I have a lab at 5. It's a fucking joke, I know. It means that I just basically sit inside doing work all day anyway, so should be, hopefully it means I can have a nice productive day. Similar to yesterday. If my day's half as productive as yesterday, then I'll cream this dissertation in next to no time. And say that I'm planning, my dissertation deadline is the 29th, so it's the end of this month, but I'm planning on getting it finished by next Friday, and that gives me a week to go over it and like proofread it and all that kind of crap. Obviously proofreading documents the size of this is going to take a decent amount of time, so that's my plan. And then hopefully I can get feedback from my supervisor and from Laura, who's pretty good at writing stuff. But yeah, I mean, like, while it is designed to be understandable by like anyone, anyone could understand it, obviously it's still got to be relatively clever sounding, and I do struggle with sounding formal. I have a very informal writing style, so yeah, it'll be really advantageous to get someone else to proofread it, even though I don't think we get marked on writing style. To be fair, to be bloody honest, I think most of this dissertation is just like effort. They look at how much effort it looks like you've done and then give you a mark, you know what I mean? Rather than anything else. That's how the demonstration of progress worked. And I mean, I feel like my system is significantly larger than most people's systems. I'm starting to post questionnaires and stuff onto Facebook, and like some people have done relatively interesting things, like Andy's done something quite interesting. Most people appear to have just made some form of website that delivers a purpose, like a way of displaying a room's timetable outside a room. So they've basically made a tablet-friendly website, and they'll put tablets around outside lecture theatres. I feel like that's a really cop-out project. The sheer scale of my project is enough to be big. Like, I think I was saying yesterday that, like, it's limitless. You could take the compiler section of my project and turn that into a project about custom-built compilers, like a multi-purpose compiler system that takes a software solution and compiles it. And that's what it is. It just, at the moment, only supports one. Or two. No, it only supports 2 compilers at the moment, but otherwise it's a deployable web system where you can put it on a server. I've basically developed a build server, more or less. If I didn't like tightly bound my project is so reliant on being restrained in order to stay within the size limits of the project. Like, I've so tightly limited what I can do, and yet still it's way bigger than everyone else's. So I feel like really fucking proud of my project, to be honest. It like avoids some like academic core things. Like Freya's done something about finite automatons and all that kind of crap, and Andy's done something about Hall logic. Mine avoids that kind of stuff, but it's enterprise size software, so I feel like I've avoided the academic side somewhat and produced a massive project. Not to like shit on everyone else, I mean, like, I feel like my project is harder. I feel like it takes a lot more time and effort than everyone else's does, but it's not what you get marks on, is it? You get marks on the dissertation, so I just got to portray how much time and effort I've put into it, which might be harder if I don't have, well, I've got the ability to write 30 pages on research, but if I don't have the ability to like properly walk through academic proofs and shit. Fucking hell, door? No, I don't know. I feel like I've got a good project on my hands, and I mean, it's garnering a lot of interest from like industry itself, so it must be good, right? But we'll see. I don't know. Either way, it doesn't stop the fact that the report's got to be good. And I mean, like, as a comparison, Andy has about 5 big C files, big ones. I think 3 or 4 or 5 big C files, and they are big. They're like 1,000+ lines each, whatever. But like, I have 10 projects, like, and each project will consist of over like 30 classes. So, but yeah, like I say, I don't mean to shit on other people, but I feel like I made the mistake I always do of picking something that's unnecessarily hard compared to, no, I will shit on making a website that displays a fucking lecture hall's timetable. What a shit project. Actually knock that up in like a day, you know what I mean? And then, oh, I'll just do some empirical studies on the design. What a crap. That's by the by. You'll actually be amazed. I think I know like 3 or 4 people who've done that. I don't know them personally, but I know of 3 or 4 people on the Facebook group that have done it. So there's like a spectrum. There's people like me who've just done a software solution, you know. Basically, writing my dissertation is a kind of a business plan, but without the business bit. There's some people who've done academic stuff where they've got like a load they can write about in the academic. I've got loads I can write about the implementation and like how it's developed and why it's been developed in that way, in like a sophisticated implementation kind of description. Some other people have a station where they can just ramble on about this academic topic like finite autonomy or Hall logic, and other people just seem to have made a website. So they just kind of have to ramble on about how they incrementally improved their website, I guess. But it's by the way. Amazon lockers are such a good idea. Oh man. Yeah, look at this lovely weather out here. An interesting lecture on security and trust and then a little bit on social networks, and I've been sat in the lab for a while doing work in there, but I've decided that I don't like that room very much. Indoors, man. It's quite hot and stuffy in there, and like there's a lot of people in it, and I think that's the problem. So we're trying to find somewhere a little bit more airy, somewhere a little bit nicer to work. I've fully charged my Surface battery, so I don't need to be near a plug socket either. I could go outside if I wanted. But that I feel I can work better either at home or at a different university than I do when I'm at this university. Probably. I'm never going to find anywhere that I like working here. Oh, it's so warm in this lab. Everyone's just left to go to a tutorial. It's just so bloody warm. I can't concentrate, man. Off my dissertation to my supervisor to have a read. It was like a first draft to tell me if I'm on the right tracks, whatever. And I'm trying to push forward again now into more sections of it. And I'm really struggling to get on it. I've had a brief meeting, group coursework meeting, with some of the people who are more interested in having group coursework meetings, discussing some of the problems that we're having with stuff. Then came back here and still working. It's like 3 o'clock, and well, I've got 2 hours to kill basically. Back to Chancellor's to try and figure out if there's a room in there to work in. I don't feel like working, that's the problem. I just kind of want to slack off. I think there's a strong difference between, well no, because this isn't always true. This is only because I'm doing something I don't want to do. Like, it's more difficult to do something you don't want to do when you're being forced to do it rather than when you want to do it. If that makes sense. Yesterday I found it a lot easier to work than I did today. And I think most of that is because I'm stuck on campus for a number of hours rather than being free to kind of work wherever I want. Does that make sense? Obligation to work that I have today that I didn't have yesterday is making me lack motivation to work. Yeah. Deep. Early for my final lab. Let's get a bit more productive for the last bit. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's have fun. Yeah! So I owe someone 20 quid because this has never fallen off in my bag so far. Touch wood. Jump, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm home and I'm in my jimmy jams and I'm about to go to bed. We went through one of the past papers in that revision lab thing, and then I headed on home, listening to Serial again in the car. It's like not quite long enough. It's quite annoying. The first episode was like really long and was like perfect, and like the last 2 episodes have like cut off halfway through. It's so sad. Driving back as well, I was like, I can swear I was being driven, like everyone around me was like on drugs or something. There was a Mercedes driver who was like, A, tried to go through red lights, B, then waited while it was on green and then like sped off when it like sat still for ages, then sped off, and then stopped at a zebra crossing where like 2 kids were like playing, like a good like 5 meters or so away from the zebra crossing, clearly not going to cross, and he stops and then honks his horn at them. I'm like, are you mad? Absolutely mad. But he left me because he was obviously a little bit more willing to put his foot down than I was. I've been trying to get my speed, my miles per gallon up. Almost got it as well, but I got stuck behind an old man coming up a hill. Never good for petrol. Another time I was driving along this road up here, doing 20, because it's 20-mile-an-hour zone, because half of Bristol is, and this van behind me, massive van, you know, like one of, not just like a transit van, like one of the big ones, like long wheelbase ones, huge it was. So it was behind me for a long time, and then it just sped round me on this thin road. It's a main road, but it's a thin road because there's like parked cars in it and stuff. It sped around me, did 40 down the road, left me for dust. I got to the end, obviously I queued behind him at the traffic lights, but he'd done all that for nothing. Onto the main road, and then I went into the bus lane because like the bus lane is no longer a bus lane after 6:30, and it was like 7. Going to the bus lane, he's in the right hand lane, he gets stuck behind a car who's trying to turn right, he then darts left into my lane, keeps his left indicator on, then just stops and puts his hazards on. Oh, What day? It looked like that's where he was going to make a delivery to. What an arsehole. Anyway, so we came back, I got in and like dinner was ready as I walked through the door. It was lovely as well. We had peppered mackerel and chips and salad. It was delish. And then we've had a relatively chilled evening. We've been talking about like dissertations of group courseworks and things. Been chewing the fat, making sure that we nail things down. Setting the world to rest. And then we watched Breaking Bad. So it's all good in the hood, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow is the day working here. I've got to get back into work. I slacked off in the afternoon today. I just kind of lost the will to live, and I need to regain that will to live and work. So I'm probably not going to go to the library tomorrow. I'm probably going to stay here. So it's even more important that like we settle down and focus. It's a good job the weather's not very good, so we can stay here in the dry. I'll catch you later.